Welcome back to Cheddar, brought to you by HP. The reign of America's favorite Jeopardy champion is over. New York City bartender Austin Rogers' 12-game winning streak ended this past Thursday night. So sorry to hear that, but we want to welcome you to the set.
I got beat by a worthy opponent.
So you won $411,000. My first question for you is, will you be on my trivia team?
Will I be on your what?
Trivia
For game
team.
night.
I've been banned.
Sunday nights.
I've been banned from multiple bars
Brooklyn.
trivia nights.
Why is that? Why have you been banned?
Because I'll win by myself.
That's okay.
Okay,
That's
wait.
fine.
First of all, how did you get so good at trivia? I mean, it's a different skill than
Well,
just kind of smart.
No, you just gotta. I read a lot. I watch a lot of documentaries, and I don't forget it. That's pretty much all there is to it. I don't know what it is to that, but everything just organically melds together, and I remember it all.
So were you a great student?
I was a terrible student because I never applied myself and still ended up with an A. I would just show up to class and be like, whatever, here, I'll do the test, and I got it right.
So you're that kid that
I was
everybody
that kid.
didn't
I
like.
was that kid. I was that kid. I'd be that kid walking across campus and someone would be like, did you write that 30-page essay? I'm like, when's that due? They're like, tomorrow. I'm like, guess I got to do it right now. And then I'd get like a B+ and be fine with it.
All right, so what are you going to do with the money?
Right now, taxes. First things first, I gotta make sure I've dotted my I's and crossed my T's. But I look at this money sort of as a foundation for future endeavors. I do not have a desire, nor wish, nor need to spend any of this money in the short term, so I can utilize it for the future, for a longer term strategy. You know, my brother is a general contractor. We can easily buy some distressed property, enhance it, and turn it into a rental or a dedicated Airbnb. A friend of mine who is a quant with a PhD from Berkeley, so I defer to him on. He suggested some very pretty cool municipal bonds that issue quarterly dividends. And that seems like a good strategy too.
What about bartending? I mean, you're a bartender. Are you going to go back to bartending?
Oh, I
Have you gone
bartended
back?
last night.
Yeah, what's it like now? Is it any different? Do
it's-
people come in just to see you?
It's
And
packed with weirdos stalking me.
what are they like? And what are they doing to
Seriously?
you? So there's some serious Jeopardy fan people out there.
you.
This is what it's like. You know, this is what it's like whenever we go anywhere.
I
So
know.
welcome, welcome,
I
okay?
understand. I understand completely.
But are people trying to stump you? I'd imagine that some people are coming in with questions.
Okay, there's two grades. There's that grade. Those are the people who call ahead on the phone. Is Austin working? And I'll answer the phone. I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen him in months, but it's me. And then there's the other grade who's like, well, I got one for you. What are the three? I'm like, I don't care.
Okay.
Just order your drink.
Well, I hope you don't think we're of that second grade, but we have some questions for
Well, no,
you.
but yours will be fun and not inane nonsense issued by idiots who are stalking me.
Certainly hope not. All right. So
I'm gonna
do we
start-
want to throw
yeah.
up on the screen?
Yeah, let's do it. We have a few questions for you. Ready?
I hope they're in my wheelhouse.
Okay. This company's technology just helped Canada put its first self-driving car on the road.
Canada plus self-driving. I mean, I'll guess Google, but it's probably wrong.
BlackBerry is the answer to that one.
Really?
We had BlackBerry CEO John Chen on the show earlier today. And yeah, the company is doing a lot in the self-driving car space.
Really? That's good because they were wow and now they're wee.
They have a new strategy. We stumped the champ.
We stumped the
Okay,
champ.
first
All right, that's it.
question.
We're done.
All right, done.
No
Out.
way. All right, so do you have the next question?
I do. All right, can we go with the one that starts in 1976, guys? Is that one gonna work? All right, we're gonna do that one. No, we're not doing that one, okay. All right, it's Netflix earnings day, and the streaming service's first original series debuted in 2013. What was its title?
Netflix first original series. Is that Making a Murderer?
Which one?
Making a Murderer?
No. Do you know it, Jill?
Yes. I cheated a little because I knew
'Cause
the
the
question.
answers are right
so
in
I'm
front
not
of
gonna lie, but I did know it. House of Cards, right?
House of Cards.
God, now I feel that one I should have gotten. That one I feel bad about. That one, the first one.
You know, you had a 12-day winning streak on Jeopardy. I wouldn't feel that bad.
I might have exhausted all my knowledge. I might just be like
you've run out.
a vapid toaster oven right now. Like, I could basically set a timer for 13 minutes and that's about it.
All right, the next question is actually my favorite one, right? We have the third question. All right, this is iconic New York. The classic brunch item, Eggs Benedict, originated in the 1860s at this restaurant near Wall Street.
Oh, Delmonico's.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nice.
There it is.
That one I
Great.
could do. New York history I got down.
All right, great job.
I have some friends who are super into Jeopardy and they can't get on the show. They just can't do it. What advice do you have for people trying to get on the show and then
Keep going. It was about 8 years between my first audition
Wow.
and my
Wow.
second audition that got me on the show. I know because when I first auditioned, so there's an online audition that I think happens twice a year, maybe once a year. And once you're entered into the pool for the online audition, you might get a call, depending on what their algorithm is for selection, for an in-person audition. Then you go to the in-person audition, you ask them more questions, then you go up in a little roundabout 3-on-3 game, and the producers ask you questions. But remember, it's television, it's entertainment, so what's it come down to? Who do the producers want on the show? I mean, if you're a boring lawyer.
So what did you do? What did you do to try and kind of separate yourself?
I'm a bartender from New York with crazy hair. Like, I mean,
yourself, I guess.
I mean, I also wore a very nice suit, you know? Everyone else was sort of like milk toast. And I'm not demeaning them. It's just like, you gotta be interesting. You gotta have a kick. You gotta have a punch. If you're just, you know, a thoracic surgeon who lives in Scarsdale, sorry, good dude.
Well, to that point, I was watching some of the highlights. There's a 30-minute highlight reel of you on YouTube. I don't know if you know about that.
No, I don't want to even see it.
Yeah, so
No.
you can expect those people to continue to come into the bar.
That's
I
fine
imagine.
as long as they tip well.
So in this highlight reel though, there are some instances of you getting bleeped out, or Trebek saying that you have to get bleeped out on air.
Yeah.
What was it like working with him? I mean, did you give him essentially? Yeah. What was it like working with him?
Well, like the bleeping is, remember, I'm a New York bartender, so my language sounds like that. That's something I just can't help, and I could never help it. But working with Trebek was great. You know, he's the consummate professional. He is, the second he shows up on stage, everyone knows it's game time. And as a result, he doesn't fraternize with any of the contestants ahead of time. So you've got this levity to the proceedings when you're doing your rehearsals. But then when you're up on the stage and Johnny Gilbert says, "This is Jeopardy," and Alex Trebek walks out, you're like, "Showtime, let's do this."
So how did you prep? I know you have a photographic memory.
I do not have a photographic memory. I have the furthest thing from a photographic memory.
Okay.
It's more like a holistic overview. Like, if you think of X, X will lead to Y, Y will lead to Z, then it'll get to the answer. Or more importantly with Jeopardy is, I think this one is correct. Quick, let me eliminate the 4 other possibilities and say the one that I think is correct. Like there's one, like it was careers and it was fluologist. Someone on Twitter is like, he just waited a long time for drama. I go, no. I saw fluologist. I said chimney sweep, but I said, wait a second. Let me verify that it's something else. So it's not really necessarily being right. It's being right and then eliminating the other choices and not double thinking yourself.
I wanted to ask about you losing, because you've described it as losing the right way.
I lost the right way.
What does that mean? Because I think, you know, that's pretty, obviously you had a great experience, but losing is disappointing.
I got beat. I didn't lose. There's a distinction between the two. If you look at my totals and my opponent's totals, any other single game that I would have faced, I would have won that one easily against Scarlett. Easily. She was just that much formidable of an opponent. She had me on the buzzer. She swept categories at ease. She swept categories I would have swept at ease. So she was just better. I got beat. And that was awesome. I don't know if you saw it, but when she beat me, we both looked at the scores and then said, wait, and then we realized she actually did beat me. and we hopped off the lecterns from each other and started high-fiving, because I was as excited for her as she was for her, because that was amazing.
Right.
I got conquered by a formidable sportsman, you know?
Look, if you're gonna go down, it's a good way to do it.
Yes.
Now, did you have in terms of like a buzzer strategy, did you think, all right, I'm gonna buzz first and then let your brain sort of formulate? How did it work?
Yes. Assume that everyone on the Jeopardy stage knows the same 90% of answers. So you have to beat them on the buzzer. And you've also got about 3.5, 4 seconds. That's a longer time than you think. So if you got like, if it's a 50-50, maybe go for the 50-50. If it's a 50-50 later in the game, let them go for the 50-50, risk it. If they get it right, they get it right. If they get it wrong, well, then you've got it. But ultimately what it is beat the buzzer, beat the buzzer, beat the buzzer, beat the buzzer, beat the buzzer.
So you're just clicking the buzzer while Trebek is still asking the question.
No, the final word of his question activates the buzzer. So it'll be like ba-bop, 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 exchange, lights on, go.
Was there any way for you to prep for that?
Yes.
How did you do that?
I watched.
Finger.
No, I actually, my friends who own the bar got me a calisthenic thumb exerciser, and I sat watching countless episodes going da 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 da.
Any big surprises while you were on? Was there anything that you thought, wow, like in terms of even the behind the scenes of the show, that anything that really surprised you?
So everyone asked, was Jeopardy fun? And fun's not the right word, but enjoyable was. And what was enjoyable was the behind the scenes was enjoyable. They run a precision military operation there. They've been at it for 34 years. So everything is planned down to the letter and micromanaged, but still maintaining like a fun, free-flowing feel, even though it's completely contrived. And the staff is professional, amazing, and the most enthusiastic people you've ever met, because if you're having fun on the show, people watching the show are gonna have fun. So they're the most encouraging, coolest people on earth. And it was great to see sort of how the sausage was made and how professional the show was run.
Any job offerings now that you got off the show?
Now it's which ones not to take.
Anything specific?
Can you give us any, yeah.
A couple book publisher offers, a couple television offers, there have been offers. And, you know, I went sort of radio silent over the weekend because I was inundated. I had 400 messages in my texts, and I can't even count Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram messages, and emails as well. So I've got like 5 separate media where people are contacting me on. So my phone was just basically red dots with hundreds of numbers on them. And so I've got to judiciously select which ones are legit, which ones are hangers, honors, and figure out where to go from here and capitalize on the flash in the pan.
Well, certainly some people have used Jeopardy as a springboard for other careers. Ken Jennings, of course, comes to mind. Have you been in touch with any former champions, with Ken Jennings? Do they offer any advice to someone who's been in your situation?
Yeah, a couple former champions. One surprised me at the bar during one of my viewing parties, and I was really surprised. His name's Roger Craig. And he's like, I'm Roger Craig, and I knew him from all the listings and the boards, but I never met him in person. I never watched one of his episodes, so I just knew the name. I'm like, oh my God, you're here. He's like, oh my God, you're here. I'm like, well, that's pretty exciting. And you know, there's this sort of close-knit fraternity of the Jeopardy people, but ultimately, I think you got to forge your own road. And if I step away from myself and look analytically, I am sort of a statistical outlier in the Jeopardy pantheon of champions, so I think I would be remiss to not utilize that to the fullest of its extent.
And any advice for people who are studying for tests and need trivia, or just need to remember stuff? Any quick tips that you could give people?
I mean, watch a lot of documentaries. Like, you've got a supercomputer in your pocket. We all have supercomputers in your pocket. If you don't know something, literally say, let me look that up right now, and then you won't remember it. I mean, you won't forget it. Like, if you're ever like, oh, did you hear about that thing about the blah, blah, blah? Oh yeah, never heard about that. Don't brush it off. Reach into your pocket, pull out the supercomputer. You have literally all of mankind's knowledge in your pocket right now. You could be like, Battle of Agincourt. And guess what? You'll never forget it. Well,
All right.
I'll never
Well,
forget
the supercomputer known as
I might
Jeopardy
forget
champion
it.
Austin Rogers joining us live on Cheddar. Austin, thanks so much for
Thanks a
joining
lot,
us today.
guys.
That was
Thanks for
awesome.
having me.